Hello and welcome to part 163 of the Coding and Game Engine live stream, and this is part 86 of GUI. We're still doing some ImGUI SFML abstraction. Okay, so give me a moment. I'm gonna message her, let them know we are live. Okay, so let's open up Visual Studio. From what I remember, in terms of the last thing we did, it ran, but we was having an issue with the clock thing because we did the built-in clock, but then we was having issues. I can actually think of what the issue might be. I think I can actually think what it might be. It's amazing, like taking a break, what that can do for you. So yeah, that's not working. So what I think it is, if we go to game HPP, we got this clock right here, and we can just, obviously that's what they ideally want us to use. I think it's for the simple reason we're using that one and we're restarting it. It doesn't need to be restarted. So I'm gonna say underscore. Now I'll copy and paste this, and this is gonna be ImGUI clock. So just for the ImGUI clock, and what I'll do is I'll grab that, I'll whack that there, and I'm going to give that a run now. Get rid of that, give that a run. I feel like that is going to work. And that was the other thing. Her did mention one other thing that I needed to look at. Yeah, that works now. Okay, so caps lock should not crash it. Yes, it does not. Fantastic. Okay, so we fixed that issue. Okay, so I think there's still a bit more obstruction. Let's see what her was saying. He was talking about he was telling me about an issue that he noticed because the project takes so long. One of the other reasons. Okay, here's hers right here. So I'm just going to implement that multi-core thing. So you were saying that we weren't on, we didn't set our project settings to multi-core, therefore it was only compiling on a single core. So if we go to properties, C++ general, and it was multi processor compilation. Yes. Oh yeah, on yours. Apply, okay, and if we give that a run, obviously whoa. Okay, in all fairness, I didn't make any changes, so that was just running it. I was gonna say that was super fast, and that was just a VC, I think probably VC142 or something error. Well, this is only compiling the one file, I guess. Okay, so we'll find out if it's quicker, but I've made that change now. Okay, so next thing in here, I guess you wouldn't, this would be all separate. Yeah, so this needs to be all here. So for the color, we are passing in I'm happy with that. It's just the color thing I want to get some level of abstraction out of it. saying that we're not doing any color editing, so I'll get rid of this. To be fair, I'll get rid of this. Ash Adhav game says hello. Hello Ash. And Hamza XZ says hey man. Ash says I need help. What do you need help with? Oh yeah, heard we fixed the caps lock issue. And there was one file that I modified in the SFML ImGUI. I'll show you later if you're interested. And there seemed to be a line there that was doing some check of some boundaries for ASCII, but it wasn't very high. And there was the assert line. Yeah, that was doing that. I just commented it out. I couldn't see it in some of the other ImGUI implementations I saw online, so that seems to have fixed it. I made a note about it, so if we need to revert it, we know how to revert it as well. Okay, so I'm going to say that's that done. Okay, yeah, so fix button group issue. So this issue I was having, I had this issue before, I fixed it, but the issue's come back again. So let me just comment out everything, but that's a mini map, we don't want that. Comment that out, and on menu I'm simply gonna draw the button group. Okay. Okay, so this is alright. If I click up, it's meant to cycle back around. If I click down, it's cycled, but the up does not seem to cycle it for some reason at all. It seems to mess up. So let's fix that, and that is, what is that? The button groups. Okay, so let's have a look at button groups. Close down clock, close down game. Button group. Button group CPP. Okay, so when I click on it, I'll click up or down. So poll input. It's in the move up method that where needs to go. What help, bro? Yep, what help do you need? How are you, her? How is everyone, actually? Hopefully everyone's had a good weekend. I think I'll see what the issue is now. So cycle up. If current index minus is greater than or equal to 0, then great. must be getting triggered in here then. Hello everyone, Sukru says, first of all, sorry for my bad English. Fine, English seems very good to me. How are you? I'm good. You know, I've heard English from people, I'm born in the UK, from other people born in the UK much worse than that. I mean, honestly, if you didn't tell me that your English was meant to be bad, I wouldn't think otherwise. Flip the script. Ah, that's meant to be going into flip the script. If current index I'm getting it because now it's an unsigned integer. Is there no audio or is he not speaking throughout? I'm not speaking throughout. Obviously I'm speaking now, so if you can hear that, let me know. That'll be great. Otherwise, if obviously my lips aren't moving, then I'm not speaking. I think I can see the issue to resolve if it's greater than 0. And underscore current index minus move amount is less than the underscore buttons dot size. I feel like that'll fix it now. We'll see if we get any warnings as a result after. Okay, that's that solved. Simple as done. Okay, so we can get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Problem solved. I think it's when we was fixing all the warnings and we was getting rid of stuff because it was like signed or unsigned integers. It's messed things up. I'll see what the the problem is now. Okay, so probably should have done that extra check anyway, I guess. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is cool, just checking. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm gonna clean the solution and then I'm gonna give it a rebuild. This is gonna be a clean build here, so let's see how long this takes. This will be interesting. That does seem to be a lot quicker. Oh, yo, that was super quick. And the warnings. I know those warnings, we can ignore them. Yep, no warnings to do with the files that we're doing. That's fine, so... Woohoo! So this was... Okay, so I'm gonna start looking into the So first of all, we want to get the frame rate. We want to print our frame rate now. So what is that? 1 divided by the time difference? Is that the frame rate? 1 divided by dt, I think it is. That's it. So let's have a look. So if I was to do, I'll just do it in draw because I know I'm gonna need the stuff in draw. So 1 second, I was gonna put spd log no, the frame rate's higher than that. Nah, frame rate seems way too low. Unless... What are we passing in DT as though? Like, what? Denomination. Go over to game. Ultra says, hi, hello Ultra, how are you? Game CPP. And... Okay, so... Draw. Interpolation. Can't quite remember. I'm good. How's it going with coding and how are you? I'm good. Coding going pretty well as well. Hi, I understand coding, but what software difficult? I don't get the question. Are you saying making software is difficult? Are you asking which software is difficult? Don't really quite get what you're asking. Okay, so let me look in here. So, doing frame rate count. Yeah, we need it as seconds. Seconds. So what am I passing it in as? interpolation. Equal accumulator. Let's just do DT, because I know if it's 60 frames per second, it should be 0.16 roughly. And that looks like it's all running above 60 frames per second, which is fine. My dream, ethical hacking, I'm confusion. Are you saying your dream is to become an ethical hacker or do some sort of course on ethical hacking? I mean, like, that's pretty advanced. The first thing I recommend is that you learn some basic coding, C, C++, something like that, and master that over a period of 3 to 12 months. Again, obviously master is a loose word I'm using there, but like get very, very comfortable with it. You know, you might feel like, oh, I just want to get to whatever you want to get to, whether it's making a game, whether it's, you know, this ethical hacking, whatever it is. But, you know, you got to learn the basics first. Oh, I wasn't going to go on. I was going to go on the SFML tutorials. Did I not do frame rate here? It's not in these ones. I know I've handled frame rate before. You'll help me. I don't see what you specifically want. Have you implemented lighting in your engine? Well, it uses SFML, so it's, I mean, we don't have any specific 2D lighting because the game engine is 2D. In terms of lighting, I do want to do some extra lighting, like some stuff you see in indie games, like some sort of casting. Again, it's something I'm going to look at. I think it's on the list anyway. SFML. So frame rate. Let's have a look at that. (1.0f) divided by time as seconds. Actually, I think I might get what else we could do it. So before the restart, so before it clears and everything. Okay, so what we're gonna say is, I'm gonna grab this, and I'm gonna say, was I doing that before clear or after clear? I was doing that before the clear. It's even new time or frame time, I can't remember. So I feel like it's gonna be frame time that I'm going to want. Yes, it's frame time. And we got it as seconds anyway, which is good. Okay, I think that's looking more like it here. For some reason that crashed. Where do you calculate your current time? It's in here. Have you implemented 10.16? I don't get what that meant. Pick your number. PLC your number. Don't get it. I'm asking because I'm struggling with lighting in OpenGL in 2D engine. That's why I'm asking my question. I've done OpenGL lighting before. I've got videos on that. It's in a 3D context, but I guess you could apply for 2D as well. So you need probably write some shading and load them by low API. The SFML had ability to load shaders. I don't know if it directly does, but SFML allows you to interact with OpenGL and just use SFML as a render window essentially. So yeah, you can to an extent. Might have just been a one-off. Again, is that the actual frame rate? Updates at 60 frames per second. So what was the purpose of me putting that there? Was I trying to say it's at least 60 frames per second? I can't remember. So much quicker though, Maybe that's just meant to be the initial one. And we're getting DT there, DT there, DT there. Interpolation here. That don't look right, because DT is always going to be that. That needs to always be... I think that should be interpolation. Saying that, then I've got that created here. Okay, so let's assume that's the... You have a look at it here, see if you can get your head around this. I don't know what I've done here. So we got DT, DT, and then we got interpolation passed into draw. I guess generally speaking, probably only need these two, but interpolation obviously to do with in the context of animation. But why would you only pass in DT, which is always 0.166, you know, recurring 0.167 to these two? Would you not want to pass the actual accurate one? Saying that, because obviously it's fixed at 60 frames per second, hence why if the accumulator, yeah, I'm getting it now, I'm getting it. So you would only, it forces it to run at that amount. The update. Okay. Okay, that looks alright then. Okay, so we got frame time. I'm getting it here. I'm again, it's a little while ago. Should have commented it. Yeah, so I think the idea is with this accumulator, you're forced to only run X amount of times, which is 60 times a second. But with the update, I mean with the drawing, you could potentially for smoother animation provide some provide it in there as well, because obviously with the interpolation you want it slightly different. Accumulator, and because this is based on the accumulator anyway, this shouldn't be any different, so we should be all good. Okay, so we got frame time, so that's the frame rate. That's looking good. We also need Okay, so okay, we just did that. Frame rate, draw calls, indices, vertices, triangles, count. Okay, so we're also gonna need draw calls. And can we get that from SFML? SFML draw calls. Let me just fully understand what a draw call is. Okay, so you ever seen when you're drawing a lot of models, where most of these models contain the same set of vertex data, but with different world transformation. When drawing many instances of your models like this, you'll quickly reach a performance bottleneck, which is because of the many draw calls. I mean, that didn't really help much. The call to the graphics APU to draw objects. Well, a batch is a group of draw calls to be drawn together. Batch. Check number of draw calls. SFML. Okay, 1 second, I need to check something. Okay, I don't think you can quite know draw code and versus from SFML. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, we frame rate. Open image in new tab. So we had the frame rate. We had this. Was that the frame time? We had the frame number, I guess. Let's check it out. Doom. Oh, that's the movie. So look at it a second. Saying that, like, how big could that even get? That could get, I mean, what, infinitely big? Yeah, so that's the frame time. So obviously, yeah, they're doing in milliseconds. Obviously, yeah, that's fine. So if we do frame time and we was to say, if we do in milliseconds as well, and we say new time. There should be like 16.67 milliseconds, roughly. It might be higher than that. Yep, sounds about right. What I'm gonna do is go to Sonar Systems, Doom Eternal. So I did a live stream for this, Ancient God Part 1 and Part 2, and maybe even for the actual game itself. I can't remember if I did it for the game or just the Ancient Gods by the looks of it. And I always had the frame rate enabled. That counter, I used to just love having that enabled. So we started at frame 0. How big is that number gonna go? It should be like nearing like 70,000 at this point. No, so something reset it. Ah, this reset it. $60,000. That resets it. Okay, that's fair enough. See, I'm at 109,000 there. 180,000. 230,000. Do you remember this boss being some long ass boss? $500,000. Probably reset when he gets to the menu. Okay, so we'll do that. SPD log : info. Total number of frames. Total number of frames. So what I'm gonna say is, so I don't think this is all gonna be here anyway, so I'm not too sure, so I won't comment yet. Long int frames equals 0, and we'll just say frames plus plus. And we'll put frames in there. The idea is this will just tick up. Let's just say it's 1. Ah, that's why. This will run for a total of from 6 to 8, 19, so 13 seconds. So an average of 230 frames per second. Yeah, this probably looks about right. Why not use unsigned long int? Good call her. Unsigned long int. Still thinking, would this be there or would it be there? Because because that's technically just capping the input and the update stuff at 60 frames. But I guess if we're part of the drawing, it would be this many frames. We can switch that stuff around. That's neither here nor there. That's not really an issue. So that's frames. Plus percentages. I don't know how we're going to get that. There might be a library to get that, because obviously graphs we can produce once we have that information, and I have not looked into ImGUI graphs, but I have a good feeling that they're going to be pretty darn easy. And so C++ get CPU and GPU usage. I mean, there must be some sort of library out there just for C++. I don't think he's talking. Some sound in the background, I think. That prints the hardware info. Okay, that's fine, because I do want that. Yeah, we do need and want that, so that's all good. We'll keep that there. This is Unreal Engine. I'll have a look at this next time, because I'm going to wrap up now. But we've made some good progress. I'll minimize this. Yeah, I'll give this a build. And obviously the builds are a lot quicker than they used to be here. Thanks for the pre-compiled header help and the tip for the multi-core support as well. All of it has helped a lot. I'm sure we're going to progress a lot faster as a result. Okay, so live streams 164. Still doing GUI, but no, we are not doing SFML abstraction now. ImGUI do style FPS counter. And what? Part 87. Still have the GUI. And time to commit this bad boy. Because once we got the individual information of everything, then we can put it into some sort of graph format. Put it into, like, it'll probably be one of these bad boys, one of these windows that we can just anchor it wherever we want on the screen, and then we'll move on from GUI. That'll be nice. And then there's just more management, really. The no discard stuff, look into smart pointers, need to delete all the existing pointers but look into smart ones potentially. And project XYZ, a lot. So we've done C description, completed ImGUI SFML. Can you try to call ImGUI demo window in your current code base? Just give me a second here. Let me just do this commit. Completed ImGUI SFML abstraction. What else did I do? I did more than that. Let's have a look. Fix button group. button group not flipping when going up, and I also started Doom style FPS counter. Yes, I know what that's for. Let me delete that file. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that commit. We're back in a second. I'm just gonna pop to the toilet. And before I wrap up, I'll have a look at that ImGUI game demo window thing you're saying. Let me push origin, I mean. So sweaty. Okay, so done. So you were saying, what was I saying? Can you try to call the ImGUI demo window in your current code base? What do you mean? ImGUI demo? Is there a HPP for it? There is not. As in, like, what do you specifically want me to do? Can you give me the code that you recommend that I run? Can you give me the code that you recommend I run and where I should run it, huh? Oh, wait here. Oh, how does that? Oh, it's so hot. Posted something right where you were doing the begin stuff in the front. Okay, so I'll do that. Show demo window. Okay. I'll leave the begin commented out, I'm guessing. We'll leave the end commented out. But it's appeared here, so let me just get rid of this, just make sure. Show them a window. Okay, here we go. Okay, so yeah, it works. Okay, so I'm assuming it does it within that. That's a pretty cool looking menu, to be fair. What specifically did you want me to have a look at in here? No move, I guess. Well, that is pretty darn. No move would be exactly what I would want. Widgets, basic. Oh, probably. There should be an overlay example in the example window, I think. If it is not in, if not, it's on the widgets. Okay, let's have a look. Overlay. The pop-ups. Let's have a look here. Collapsing bullet. The combo. No. Okay. I'll open in a second. There's over some of the stuff I want to see as well. I'm interested in this. Pretty darn cool. You're right, this is pretty badass. Okay, so examples, overlay you were saying. Simple overlay. That's pretty cool. So I could just, you're saying use this, use the overlay, add my stuff to it, you know, like some text and have it updating. So do they have stuff updating? Yeah, they do, the mouse position. They already have that, don't they? That's cool. That is cool indeed. So okay, we'll keep that in mind. Obviously, once I've that's cool. I'll do that. Once I've got all the information that we're gonna put in there, obviously some of the stuff we may not be able to get. We might get later on if we do some OpenGL calls potentially directly, or use some other third-party library. But once I've all the information, the metadata that I'm happy with, and I'm like that's enough, I'll look into using this. But yo, this is gonna be good. Gonna be one nice, and obviously Doom has it, and Doom 1 is fantastic. It's the best one I've seen so far. How many other engines do you know that has something like this? It's another thing that's gonna be relatively unique to our engine, especially on this level. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna wrap up now. Thanks for that suggestion here. I'll leave that there. Check out simple overlay example in examples menu, and I don't need to commit that, it's just a little comment, and that's it. So gonna wrap up now. Thanks for all your helper, thanks to everyone else for watching, and every engine has that feature. Oh, I guess so. Are you talking about the FPS counter stuff with all the other advanced diagnostic information? I mean, how much, it depends on the engine, I guess, how much advanced diagnostic information he has. Plus also what I really mean is like the games implemented by the game engine. Because obviously, not all games have it. The engine may have had it, but the game doesn't. And obviously that's what we're talking about for the end user. But yeah, that's it. So I was also thinking of a game to make with the engine, everyone. And the game that I was thinking was a variation of like a city builder, like SimCity. Because I used to love SimCity. And I think I'm making a 2D one, like the SimCity Classic. I'll go back and play that. I haven't played that in ages. Never even played that one that much. Play SimCity 2000, play SimCity 4, and played SimCity, the most recent one that was just called SimCity, and yeah, that was great. Like, I love those games. Doing something like that, some sort of city builder, but with a little twist where it uses sort of real world style supply and demand economics, and has some built-in sort of in-game stock market features where you can trade stuff and make money that way to obviously spend the money in the game and actually build resources. But the other thing is, let's say if you're building a house and you need to build it, let's say you're building something, you need to build it from wood, and usually you would, in any game, you would just build something if you had X amount of wood, or if you had X amount of money, you would just get that wood. Like, in most games, you need to use a command in the console to activate showing the info. Obviously on PC, yes, but sometimes the information isn't as complex, or it's not as good as the Doom one is good. Like, that's what I want for our games. So yeah, going back to it, having some sort of system where, like I was saying, if you need wood, you just buy it, or if you got enough wood, you just build the building. But in the real world, just because you got enough money doesn't mean you can always get everything. You see that with like PS5. Just because you got the money to get a PS5, which a lot of people do, doesn't mean you can get it, because there's a shortage of certain components. The biggest one being the chips, the CPUs, the GPUs, because there's a chip shortage all around the world, and as a result, there aren't that many of them. Imagine if you're playing something like SimCity and you're building something, you need wood, but the factory that processes wood burnt down, and as a result there's limited supply and the price has gone severely up. That's the sort of thing I'm looking to implement in there. So maybe not on the same sort of scale of SimCity, but on a deeper level, that you're in a way interacting with the economics of it. Again, people may not want to play that, but something I think that'll be quite cool. I'll think about it some more. I'll look into it. I don't want to do too much planning outside of the live stream, because I want to, once I've done the game engine side of it and we're at like version 1, I want to document the process of making the game from scratch as well, and then releasing the game in some form, whether it's on Steam or something like Green Man Gaming or Epic, potentially even console later on once the engine ported to that, or just as sort of like freeware, as an executable with the assets, the resources, whatever the methodology is. Obviously the code will still remain free. You can compile it from that and get the game, but in terms of like the finished product, obviously that I could release on some sort of store potentially. But I would like to document that process. Again, what I might start doing is potentially at the end, just like this, start discussing the game, spend a few minutes on it, maybe do a bit of research, and may start making notes as well. I think I'll do that. And I might play a bit of SimCity Classic today, just to get some ideas. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.